Let's get that chat rolling over here too. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Hello, world. Live from my home office. Where are you, David?
I'm live from my home office. So the home offices in Canada, the United States, we got a border. I almost got in trouble there. A bilateral home office thing going on today.
We do. Is it sunny where you are?
No, it's gloomy and horrible. I live on the West Coast, just on top of Seattle. So people are probably familiar with Seattle weather. It's like that, but colder.
So, rock and roll. Well, hi, everybody. We're waiting for people to come in. We're popping on early today because we couldn't help it. I can't help it. Because David is so fun to talk to. And you got your fancy screen there. You look super good. You got your
look at my logo floating in space.
It's so cool. It's awesome.
It's like I can balance it on my hand.
Hey, Gary. What's up, Lauren? Hi, everybody. We're about to get going here. We're streaming on Facebook. Hello, Facebook friends. Sometimes we see Tim over there. Sometimes Brian Kramer. Hopefully some. Ankit, what's going on? Almost Thanksgiving. Yes, it's the weird Thanksgiving.
Almost Thanksgiving. It's right. It's American Thanksgiving for you guys.
Yeah, totally. Which is why, like, I'm going to ask you some questions, and then I want you to ask me some questions too about today's diabolical thing. So I'm going to intro us here. Hi, Peter. What's going on? Sharon, great to see you. Graceful and Sharon. Awesome. Everybody chime in. You know how we like it, right? Tell us where you're calling from. Just like on old school radio. Where are you calling from? First time caller, second time lover? What's the weather? Bob, how's it going? Nice. Charleston's lovely. Laura, great to see you too. So I'm Kate. I'm the CEO of Lately. This is David Allison, our amazing friend. This is How to Position Anything, which is our monthly feature. It's 10 minutes. We try to keep it to 10. It's hard because we get excited and you guys are awesome. What's up, Lisa? Great to see you. And we reveal one diabolical fact that literally will change the way you sell or market anything.
Every time you say diabolical, I want to go, rah.
It's such a good word. Just fun to say, right? Diabolical. That's my radio voice, not my fake one. So we're going to get started. And then we'll talk about, you guys can, ask questions in the chat as ever, but really quickly, Valuegraphics is David's company. He's going to share a little more about, what that is, but it's the idea of not using demographics anymore to categorize or understand or predict how customers or people are going to behave, but to really think about what they value, right? So this is so obvious. People, tall and short, young and old, different colors, different races and backgrounds, we have a lot in common. And instead we have been ruled by these weird divisions that make no sense anymore. Right, David?
Absolutely no sense. We have 500,000 surveys from around the world to back this up with now. I mean, it's proven. We are not all the same. Like just because you're the same age as somebody, you're not anything like them. Men are not all the same. Women are not all the same. Baby boomers aren't the same. Generation X isn't all the same. Millennials aren't all the same. Nobody acts their age anymore or their gender or their income. Nobody's ever acted their income. They certainly don't anymore.
It's super true. Yeah. And also, in case you need any more proof, like consultant to the United Nations, right? So this is how important this idea is, right? So if you are using demographics to do any marketing, consulting, or planning or reach out, stop that. Start learning more about Valuegraphics. So, hey, Sharon. Welcome, Chris. Radio face. That's so funny. Okay, cool. So we're going to get started today. You have an intro for us, David. So everybody say hi to David Allison. Yay.
Hey, everybody. I want to tell you a story first, Kate. I just came back from, I was in Texas, the great state of Texas.
I saw your awesome photos on Instagram, by the way. You look great. So welcome back from your
It was so fun to be on a stage talking to people in a live setting again. And the people at MPI put on the World Education Congress. They did it safely and they did it in a way that made everybody happy and had fun. So we can be safe, we can have fun. It can happen. It was a really great thing to be part of. But here's the cool thing. Whenever I speak publicly, I always profile the folks that the people in the audience are trying to engage with. So if I'm talking to a room full of whoever, they've got somebody they're trying to engage and influence. So I tell them, here's what you need to do in order to get those folks to do what you want them to do and to engage with them. So for this particular audience, they were interested in people who go to conferences and events because that's who they try and that's their customers. So we profiled people who go to conferences and events. And one of the things we noticed is that experiences as a value is quite low for this group, but community is very, very high. So I get off the stage and we get an email almost instantly from somebody who'd been watching
Wow.
virtually, digital viewer, who said, you know what? Oh my God, my company for the last years and years and years, we've been all about experiences. And just last year we switched and started talking about community as the reason why you should work with us. My business has gone through the roof just by making that one simple switch about what's important to the people that he was trying to influence.
I want you guys to just,
powerful this stuff can be.
yeah, I want to underscore that. So David braves it all and goes to a conference in this day and age, right? Which is amazing. And he actually, he gave us he guest appeared at one of my Zoom calls, and we saw all the amazing safe things that were happening. It was pretty robust, bomb-proof safety stuff they had going on. So he does this conference, and I love the idea that we've all been to conferences on this call. I know we all have. Like the idea of experiences being the thing that we thought would be uniting us, but really it's community. Right? Just think about it.
For that audience, because we do this custom every time I speak, we do a custom profile for the people that they want to influence. People who are listening to me, I say, okay, your customers, here's what they're all about. And for their customers, for this particular audience, it was about community over experiences. And then we had this guy call in and go, yeah, like my business has quadrupled since I just made that simple shift.
It's amazing. Okay, so now are we going to get to today's diabolical fact first?
Let me whip through this quickly. I want to make sure.
Don't be quick. This is cool. So go ahead.
Okay, I just don't want to leave anybody behind, because I know there's new people who come and join us each time we do this. So the reason we call this the Valuegraphics Database is because it's a new way to think about a target audience instead of using demographics to try and understand who they are. Demographics still helps you understand what they are, but not who they are and how you can engage with them and influence them. So here's where it comes from. If you look at sociology, neuroscience, and psychology, all three of these different human behavior sciences, these different disciplines, they all agree that our values determine everything we do. Every emotion, every decision, every behavior you will ever have is because of some value that you're running towards or running away from. Even right down to the level of biology. If we talk just quickly about neuroscientists, for example, neuroscientists will tell you that the prefrontal cortex of your brain is the CEO of your life, and takes all the incoming information and decides how you're going to react to it, and it uses your values as a way to make those decisions. And it's just like, I can go through a story for every one of these disciplines, but it all sums up in this one notion: what we value determines every single thing we do. So here's what we did that's different.
Wait, say that again.
What we value determines what we do.
I love that.
That's the takeaway line. What we value determines everything we do. Now, here's what's cool. There's only 56 values. So now it can be about math, because we've only got 56 buttons we can push, 56 diabolical facts that people could potentially be using to determine everything they do. So that's not that hard now. As we've gone and built this giant database, we've got 500,000 surveys from around the world. We've measured those 56 values. So for any audience, we can say, here's the ones that you need to be focused on. And now anybody just has to figure out, what's the connecting point? How do you connect the dots between what you've got, what your story is, your brand, your product, your service, and what these folks are looking for? You find that overlap and you're golden. It doesn't matter how old they are, or if they're men or women or rich or poor or married or single or have an MBA or a PhD or whatever. What matters is what they care about. Right. Connect what you're trying to sell to what they care about. So today, we're going to talk about one of these 56 values.
Drum roll.
Today's value is, do you want to call it?
I do. It's loyalty. Ta-da!
So loyalty is
this is my favorite. I love loyalty.
Loyalty is a really good thing, right? I mean, everybody wants to see loyalty come up in their customer profiles. Around the world, loyalty is various levels of importance to various populations on the planet. The winners of the loyalty race is the Middle East. The Middle East is way up at the top.
Really?
Yeah. And then South America and Central America come second. But in the United States, about half the population of the United States lists loyalty as one of their most important values, one of the ways that they're trying to make, that they use to make decisions about everything, and that triggers all their emotions and all their behavior. So if you can find a way to talk about loyalty around your product or service and connect the dots to the folks that you're trying to influence, about half of the population of the States, that uses this as one of their primary decision-making tools.
Interesting.
So loyalists come in all kinds of flavors. There's people who are loyal to products, to services, to brands, to people, to ideas, to rituals. Like I have a lot of loyalty in my rituals. I go to the same restaurant. I have 3 restaurants I ever go to, and I have one chair I like in each one of them and one thing on the menu. And loyalists are like this. So if you can find a way to show the loyalists you're trying to influence that there's some repeatability, some familiarity, that you've been through this before. It's just like everything else in your life. Loyalists don't like things to be different. They don't want change. They don't want an adventure. They don't want an experience. They want to know that this is going to be what they're looking for. They tend to have long-term relationships because that's about loyalty. They tend to be collectors. So if you can trigger something about your product or service, it's about building a collection, because a collector is just being loyal to a particular thing that they're collecting. So if you're selling shoes, talk about your shoes as a collection. And these folks will be like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Of course, I need every single one that you ever made.
That's so tricky. I love that. Yeah.
Or I'm collecting experiences. So maybe it's about going to that restaurant, and every time the menu changes, you better come, or else, you know, your collection of having been to each one of our new menus won't be complete. You need to, it's part of your rituals as you come at least once a quarter when we change our menus. That's the thing you do because you're a loyalist. So loyalty is a very, very powerful tool. We had this fun thing happen the other day. I don't know if you can see this, but if you get close in there.
I'm zooming in my eyeballs.
Our friends at Visual Capitalist made this amazing infographic that picks apart a bunch of our different values and talks about them in various parts of the world and how they relate to other things in other parts of the world. So don't worry about squinting at this. I'd watch this. This will even get you crazier. That's the whole infographic there. But the World Economic Forum picked this up and printed it. So that's a really exciting moment for us. And it's a great record of all 56 values and a whole bunch of really cool stuff that these guys put together. So anyone watching who wants it, valuegraphics.online/lately, and it's yours. You can use this as a tool now to help you understand some of these different values and how they might be working.
Awesome. Hey, Katie, can you put that in the chat for us, or Chris or Ankit or somebody, so we can?
I'm just going to leave that up there with my fancy new floating graphics tool.
I love this. This is very exciting. Yes. Okay, wait. So let's do my favorite part of the show is when you are Vanna White. So let's see if we can apply the use of loyalty to something else harder. Does anybody have any ideas? So if you wanted to sell, we just talked about restaurants, which is pretty good. But what's a way, like,
what's the last thing you bought, Kate?
The last thing I bought? God, it was not this voice activated software that talks to me during a demo. Definitely wasn't that. I actually bought, I think I bought a rug. I bought a rug yesterday. Sometimes I do things, I realize when I'm a little drinking too much, I buy things online.
Yeah, me, Amazon and eBay and alcohol, they're it's like a party when that happens.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
So rugs. Let's say, okay, so I'm going to assume rugs come from a furniture store where they sell all kinds of stuff other than just rugs. So what we want to do there, if we're trying to trigger loyalty amongst somebody who's just come in to buy a rug, clearly if they have a rug, they have a place that rug's going. So if you can, in the course of talking to that person, whether you're doing this online or you're doing it in person, just sort of find out what else is going on in that room. What sort of, like, maybe it's a Turkish, a traditional rug, a sort of tribal rug that you've got. So that means that you can tell a little bit more about what this person's taste is. Where I'm leading with this is, if you can find out a few of those little bits of information and then use that as a way to continually be sending them things that say, you know what, we've got this chair that would be amazing with that rug that you just bought.
Because it's part of a collection.
From the same company as that rug you just bought, or the same part of the world, or it has the same colors, or show me a picture of your living room, Kate, and let's talk about what else we could help you out with. Be loyal to me as a new purchaser who's just bought a rug, and I will be loyal back if I'm a loyalist.
So, and a couple of people asked basically about selling services in the same way. So from e-courses to consultant services as well. So can we try to apply it to something like that? How do you do?
Okay. So selling a service like a course, somebody was saying a course. So here's what happens most of the time. You sign up for a course, you pay them your money, you take the course, and then they send you an email and go, cool, do you want to buy another one? That's not really being loyal. to me. So being loyal to me is then having maybe somebody phone me afterwards and say, did you get what you wanted out of that course? Were you able to actually apply that information? Why don't you tell me about that? I'm really actually curious and interested to know how that went and how it was applicable in your life. Oh, I see. So you were trying to figure out how to be a better videographer and make better videos with, now that we live in this digital world. We've got another course that would be really great for you that's about how to use cameras, because that's a big part of what you were trying to understand with that software course that we did. So do you want to look at the camera course? Well, actually, we'll throw you that one for free because you did one with us. And then here's a coupon for just like how can you make people feel like they're not just another you know, ping pong ball going down going where, I don't know where that analogy was going.
Pinball. I got you.
Yeah. Like they're actually, like they matter, like you notice, like you're being loyal to them, and then they will be loyal back to you.
They matter. Yeah. Okay. And we're a little bit long, but we're getting a lot of questions, so I'm going to keep with it. Hey, welcome, Cindy, by the way. Welcome, Lisa, also. Lisa Thee. So do you mind, David, can we do a few more minutes? Because this is fun.
Yeah.
So and there's a lot of people, a lot of more consultant people that are asking even more questions. So let's talk about, the question is like, how do you scale this in a consultancy level? And so one way is to talk, like marketing consultant is easy for me to talk about, right? And David, you can help in here, but like you figure out what people are marketing and then you supplement that with other things that go along to support them, right? So for us at Lately, we hear from you guys all the time. But once I have auto-generated the posts, how do I do that writing part? So then we have that free course once a month. It's on the writing. I do it with you. Me and Lauren do, right? We hear you guys. We hear that people want more education on writing. We're working on it. But it's two
and
parts
you get
there.
questions about what should I write about, and then that's why we do these things, so people understand some of the triggers they can be using to talk to people in a powerful way.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, and we do it all. And I think you should tell me with this. I think also around so let's talk about loyalty rewards. Everybody knows that buzz in business. So what is that play? That's like a gamification of the loyalty, right? How does that work?
Yeah, it is. And it works better for some audiences than others. And guess why? We started this by saying that 50% of the American population has loyalty as a thing that's part of how they make all their decisions. So that means 50% don't. So if you're going to just throw out a loyalty program and then wonder why nobody's paying attention to it, guess you should be watching those tea leaves or reading those tea leaves, because what you're finding is that your audience doesn't really care about loyalty so much. So, I mean, try it on an experimental level. That would be the best thing to do if you're determined to do a loyalty program. Do a little test and see if the random selection of folks from your customer base, if they're actually responding to that. And loyalists are going to be interested in a kind of reward system that's about other values that they have in their makeup. So if you're in an environmental space, let's say you're selling an environmental product or service or brand or something like that, you're going to do a loyalty program. Figure out a way that you can activate both of those values at the same time. Let's show some loyalty to you as my customers, and let's do it in a way that's about the environment and being loyal to the planet and being loyal to the causes that we're all trying to support as being the folks who are making this thing, whatever it is we're making. If you know more about their values, you can then just reward back. Quick example, I worked with a group of an international organization of convenience store owners, like big chains of convenience stores. And they're talking about a loyalty program that had to do with, come in and buy your gas from us, and after a certain amount, you get some free gas. Well, the folks that are the heaviest users of convenience stores, one of their primary characteristics is they're workaholics. They don't care about free gas. Reward them with things that will help them get in and out faster. If you're a workaholic, you can call ahead, and you're one of our loyalists. You can call ahead, and we'll have your whatever it is you want. We have it waiting for you, so we'll just hand it to you. You can keep on going because you want to get back to work. So you can combine these values and end up with a package that is a little bit more custom tailored to the exact folks that you're trying to engage with and influence.
Yeah, I love that. So there's two things, and people are pointing out in the chat here as well, as number one, to understand how to reach people where loyalty is their button, you need to do a lot of listening and asking questions. So there's a conversation. And then we also touched on the acknowledgement, right? So I think I know that all loyalists really like to be acknowledged for their loyalty. That's the rewards is part of it there. And then, Lisa Thee, thank you. She said something in the chat about that. I mean, we try to do that at Leetly as well. I mean, you know, we have not a lot of might behind our, you know, there's not a lot of us and we don't have a lot of money, but we do our best to try to like acknowledge exactly what we're doing today. So thank you. So I think thank you is really good, to make people feel like, I think loyalists too, like they have this, it's like if you're back to the restaurant thing, and I feel like this is true for me, so you correct me, but like I feel also like I'm going to get a little extra special treatment because I'm a loyalist,
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Everybody likes
Yeah.
to be recognized, and loyalists will enjoy that, many of them, because it's some sort of a validation of their loyalty, that their loyalty has
Validation.
been recognized and noticed, and we see you. We see that you're being loyal. You know what? You just triggered one last thing that we should maybe throw in here. How do you find out if you've got loyalty as one of the values for your target
Yeah,
market?
this is what Cameron is asking this now, basically. How do you know which traits are the ones?
Yeah. So of those 56 values, there's a couple of different ways you can do it. You can hire my company, and we cost a lot of money, so it's not for everybody. We can get you super precise results. But the easiest thing you can do is just ask the right questions. The next time you're talking to your target audience, do a survey, or even just like if you've got a small operation, you got some people on the shop floor, some folks who are interacting with people on a regular basis, ask them a couple questions that are about why they do things. So you get up and go to work every day. Why do you do that? Another good one is let's just
Wait,
say
stop,
one.
because that's not an obvious answer. I just want everyone to understand, because it might not be money. It might
Right.
be
It
to
could be
support
about their
my
family.
daughter.
It could be just about fear, about paying off my debts. It could be about
Right.
it's what I do. I've always worked at this company. Loyalist. Um, Second one, a one I loved using is if you just won the lottery, why would you give half away?
Right.
And then the last question I love to help people get
Hmm.
to the root of the
Why
value.
would you give? So you're assuming that they would give halfway, so if they come up with a reason why. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great question.
why would you give half away? It's always about the why. Simon Sinek's why, right? We've just taken
Why?
Simon Sinek's why and made it into an empirical data-based thing instead of just a general why. We've got actually data to back that up now. So the third question that I think is always a really good one is to imagine yourself 10 years from now, writing yourself a letter today. What would you tell yourself and why?
Hmm.
What would you say to yourself 10 years from the future? So ask those questions of your audience, of your target group, of your customer base. You're trying to find out what's the motivations behind what they do. Why do you go to work every day? Why would you give away half your lottery winnings? Why would you say something to what would you say to yourself in the future? What would you like to know back today? And why would you say that? If you can get to those levels and you start to see patterns, if you ask 100 people, you'll start to see, you know what, my target audience is all about their friends. It's all about friendship, or it's all about the environment, or it's all about trust, or it's all about personal growth, or it's all about any one of the other 56 things listed on that graphic. You can download it. This lovely valuegraphics.online floating in the air here.
People
/link.
are already asking about this in the chat, so we're gonna have to figure out how to do a whole thing on that.
Cool.
Everybody wants what you have because you look so slick and professional. We've gone way over today, but I think it was really worth it. And by the way, Jay is just saying the link goes to a sign up page, but the infographics just haven't come yet. Just a confirmation email. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
so that link takes you to the sign up page, so we know where to send it, and
Okay.
then we'll send you a PDF of that graphic.
Cool, because you know David's smart. He's got to have a lead list. Hey Lee, awesome. Oh, that's so nice. So David is our friend. We do this every month. We've gotten through like 4 or 5 values at this point. There's 56, so we'll keep on doing it. We often touch on the other values as well. The most important part though is you guys here, right? So everything you're doing, I'm paying attention to. David's paying attention to. My team is paying attention to. What you tell us all the time, but like you guys care about helping each other. Constantly. What's the word for that, David? What category is that? Just wondering.
That's a community. You've done a really good job
Community.
of building community.
You guys are a community. So all right. So we got to, well, thanks. And we got to keep that going. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you and happy Thanksgiving here in America to all of you. Thank you, David. And
Happy Turkey Day, everybody.
Happy Turkey Day. We wanted to do this specifically on this holiday week where maybe people's lives are a little bit more zany than normal, but just to really just make sure you had something fun to do. Hopefully you smiled. David is a lot of fun. He's good looking too. So, hey, that's easy on the eyes. And we love you all so much. So we'll see you back here next Tuesday. Have a great Thanksgiving, mostly by yourselves. I know that's the deal. You can still stuff your face and pass out on your own. So
Exactly. You don't have to, you don't have to have anybody else around you to eat too much turkey.
It's true. I will be doing that. So thanks, David. I love you. Love you guys. Talk to you
Thanks.
soon.
Love you guys too. Happy
Cheers.
Thanksgiving.